Oregon State a lot on film, and Tink's done a really good job with this team. They've got good veteran leadership. I love their young players. We had a chance to recruit a couple of their players, and they came here, and they have a really, really good team and did a nice job in the game. They hit some big shots in the first half where I thought we had them on the ropes a little bit, and sure enough, when we climbed back into the game the second half, they hit some big shots again. I just think it's important for us. We've had a lot of growth throughout the course of the game, but we still got more growing to do. We just got to get a little bit better.
Then for you tonight, Coach, just the response out of the half, closed the gap a little bit there. I mean, did a switch flip at all, at least early on in the second half of this team?
You know, I think the thing with this team, they are very, very, very competitive. The key thing is the consistency of competing at a high level, especially on the road in this conference. You've got to compete. You've got to fight mentally and physically. That's a process you can't speed up. They have to go through it. So they're learning literally as they're on the road through the losses, but they're competing like crazy right now, and that's very important. But they have a lot more growth potential.
Then with CJ, this is the third or fourth time that we've seen him really turn it up a notch in the second half. He had foul trouble early. I mean, just what is it about his game that enables him to elevate his play in spurts like that?
I think CJ is a fabulous player, and there's times in the game where he can really get rolling on you and does a nice job of taking over the game, particularly on that end of the floor. The area I would encourage him to continue to grow is they pick up those fouls that have to send him or Robo to the bench, and they're fouls for not moving your feet or reaching in. That's an area where he has to get better at, because offensively he is a special player, particularly when he takes good shots and he can get rolling on you.
I mean, you see Trace Tinkle's in this game too. He's one of the premier forwards in this conference. Are there some similarities between CJ's game and what Trace can do offensively?
The thing I really understand about CJ is he's just a freshman. Trace has been around a long time. CJ is just coming into this environment over here for the first time and understanding things. Trace has got an excellent skill set. CJ has a tremendous skill set as well too. They're both nice players.
Robert had a tough shooting night against Stanford. Just how do you think he looked 5 days removed from that performance? More or less getting closer to being back to full strength off that hip injury?
You know, I'm hoping he's getting to that point. Sometimes it takes you a game, 2 or 3 games to get your rhythm back. And there at times tonight he looked like the Robert of past. Still, again, though, the defensive side of the floor, moving the feet, not reaching so much, those are things we just can't do, because those are 2 premier players, 2 premier scorers that we need on the floor, not sitting down resting when they get that third foul.
Oregon State, that's another long...
You're going to answer all the questions? You guys don't have any questions? My goodness.
I'm glad to do all the work.
You're on a roll. Go ahead.
Oregon State, that's a long team. They've got some height, especially with that Kyler Kelly kid. I mean, are there things that this team, though, can control just to mitigate some of their advantages on the glass?
You know, the biggest thing for us, and I've mentioned this before, when we're going to go back and look at film, we're going to find that we probably gave up, it was 9 at half. I'm going to say it's easily 18, 20 points on second chance shots because of not aggressively keeping people off the glass. You throw that in with probably 7 to 8 of what I call bad shots. You're going to have a couple, but 7 to 8 shots, bad shots are too many, particularly when you take a bad shot and they go down and score, because there's another 16 points or so sitting there. And then the last piece of that is turning the ball over. We didn't have a lot of turnovers tonight, but we had a couple of those key turnovers that led to scores. The ball just bounced funny in that first half. Well, all in all, I'm giving you about anywhere between 26 to 30 points that are directly in our control that we can get better at to keep ourselves in games and we don't have to get into a hole and fight back.
A look ahead, you wait until play Oregon until Sunday. Just from your perspective, is it tougher on a road trip like this when you have to sit around and wait that extra day between games?
You know, not necessarily. I mean, these guys, we have our academic advisor with us, a learning specialist. We're going to have study table. We'll get together and practice. We'll do something with them to get them to grow together as a team off the floor. But I mean, you're sitting here, you could be sitting in Pullman, being in classes, you're sitting here getting ready to play a basketball game. If I'm a college student at this level, there is nothing hard about that at all, the way we take care of them.